Why, yes. Yes, sir. I'm going to plant corn. I'm going to plant all the corn because I'm going to feed the hogs because the hogs are going to feed us all throughout next winter. Let's garden today. Okay, I'm not sure how much talking I'm going to be able to do from this location because I have a livestock guardian dog that wants to come over and join me in the garden, which we cannot do because she'll dig it up. So that's Enoli barking. She wants to be over. So what I'm going to do today is this. Told you I wasn't going to do it. And then I told you, you know what? I'm probably going to change my mind. And, well, I did. Why are you making all this fuss? You want to join in on the filming, honey? Of course you do, because you're a good girl. Okay, so last time we really talked about this garden, I told you I was going to let it rest, honey. I was going to let it be. I sound like Elsa on 1883. Maybe not even that good. So here's the deal. Here up on Rocky Top, we have decided to go ahead and do as much planting as we physically can this year. We have been having a lot of rain in recent weeks. I don't know if I can do that. Ooh, it's a little hot. So I'm going to be planting today in the big garden because it was the easiest and quickest for us to get to in terms of preparing for, because it doesn't have anything permanent in the garden set up. I don't have cattle panels, tomato cages, stakes, anything like that. This is wide open spaces. This is also where I have found artifacts before too. So this is sacred ground. And typically this garden does very, very well. So what I was going to do was let it rest and let the volunteers come up. Well, they did, and it was great. And then we got a huge cold blast in April, and it killed every bit of it, except for a few little sunflowers that we've been able to till around. So this goes back to show you that man plans and God laughs. If this had been in terms of my dependency for some food, all of my volunteers, yeah, well, starvation would be on the menu. Okay, so I'm going to talk with you about what I'm planting this year. And here is my advice. You do what works best for you, your family, your farm, your garden. That is your business, okay? But I am telling you from my personal experience over the years that I have learned not to get too crazy with planting things that are new or that I've never had before or anything like that. If you want to experiment a little bit, that's fine. But if you're going to be getting like weird artichokes that you've never had before or something that is from like Guatemala, I don't know, and you don't even know if you like that, I wouldn't be this is not the time to be, in my opinion, it is not the time to be wasting on weird things. You need to be growing the staples that you know you like, you eat, your family eats, okay? You still have a variety of things to choose from seeds, even at the store, even though I know they're expensive as all get out. But you have choices still. So make wise choices. This is what I've had to do. And you know what? It will help with your stress level too. Because instead of walking around going, where am I going to put this? Yeah, I've got this strange butterfly gizzard, artichoke, blasted squash melon. Don't be doing all that. I mean, if you want to do it, I don't care. But I'm just saying, no. Sit down very quickly and write down 5 to 10 items that you know you eat, you know you like, you have good experience with, that is typically successful in your area, and that is easy to seed save from and or put away in jars or whatever. That's my advice. Some people will get upset by that because people get offended by everything now, which is ridiculous. But if you want to eat and you want to be successful at gardening, you first and foremost have to have a plan. Yes, but you need to work with what you know you like. Now, I don't like some of this stuff that's, you can eat this and whatever. So I've got some of that here with my sunflowers, okay? So I didn't want to come through and take down my sunflowers because these are all my volunteers that made it. So these will be the ones that I will seed save from first. The rest of this is wide open spaces. So what I'm going to focus on, got this in my mouth, I'm going to focus on corn because I have the space for it. I'm growing one variety of corn. Up here, I will be doing Roma 2 bush beans. I love Roma 2 bush beans. They're my favorite because I don't have to sit and string them, okay? I will be planting some more pollinator-friendly Bright Lights Cosmos because I want to seed save from them again. I'm going to be doing some watermelon, but I'm going to be putting those in mounds. So I'm going to be starting with those items and a few others, and I'm just going to keep it very streamlined, okay? Rows and rows in blocks, very streamlined. Now I got a turkey trying to get in here. So here's the deal. I want to say something really quick because I don't think a lot of people understand this, and it is okay if you're new to gardening. There are certain items that do better in mounds. You don't have to plant them in a mound, but they do tend to thrive in mounds. In history, if you've read particularly about native tribes and how they planted, they often planted many items or many things in mounds. You may be familiar with the Three Sisters. I have multiple videos on the Three Sisters. I have in some capacity planted the Three Sisters every year basically over the last 6 years. So I know how it works very well. And I can tell you that folks don't understand that basically when you are planting corn, beans, and squash or pumpkin, whatever, in a mound situation, most people don't have the space to get the amount that they think they're going to get. You're not going to get the bounty that you think you're going to get. They chose that method hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, because they didn't have a tiller. It was very difficult for them to work the ground, okay? So it was easier for them to dig and to build a mound and to plant in and around that mound in the stages required for the Three Sisters, okay? It also does help with critter control depending on what variety of squash or pumpkin that you plant, because that helps to keep pests out and away from it. I'm all for the Three Sisters. Some folks were asking me about it. I'm all for it. I'm not knocking it. Clearly, I love it for many different reasons. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think this is the time to be overly experimenting your space with things you may not understand or that you've ever done before. Block method, considering no heavy pests or a bad weather situation, you are going to get a better yield of your beans. You're going to get a better yield of your corn. A lot of times the beans can pull down the corn. Miss Lou has a lot of success, however, with planting her corn. And then she just plants the bean around the corn in rows. She doesn't go full Three Sisters. So you have to do what works best for you. But if you are planting zucchini, squash, pumpkin, watermelon, cantaloupe, those are some those pop in my brain first. It is very, very good for you to plant in a mound. It is very, very good for those varieties, okay? But as far as corn and beans, I will be honest with you, if you can expand and have the space for some block rows, I think your yield's going to be a whole lot better, and I think you're going to be pleased in the end. If you want to separate a little area to experiment with the Three Sisters, that's great. But the best you're probably going to get out of that is maybe a meal and maybe some seed saving. I just don't want you disappointed in that method. Real quick, this is Cleome. I want you to see how small these little seeds are. They're so tiny. This is your fourth sister, the Cleome. I've got a video on it. I've told you all about it. This Cleome is actually from my great-grandmother. It is a fourth sister. Also, sunflowers are known to be a fourth sister. So I'm coming in, my favorite is the Lemon Queen. It is beautiful if you can get your hands on it. It has multiple blooms on it. But you know, I love all sunflowers. I'm not really particular. I love them all. So I'm gonna plant a variety because I love that. But if you had to stick with one, I'm gonna tell you right now, I think the Lemon Queen is probably tops. I wanna show you this. I've shown it before in past videos. And I'm planting as much of my items to seed save from this year as possible because a lot of my volunteers didn't come back. See, I'm in that dilemma. This is your Bright Lights Cosmos. If you've seen many of my videos in the past, those beautiful bright, go big orange flowers. Beautiful, great for pollinators. This is all that I have seed saved. I have another whole bag over here, but I just want to show you. This is what the seeds look like. One of the easiest seed saving items that you will ever have in the garden, and it brings in a ton of pollinators. So if you're going to plant pollinator friendly items that you know you need to bring in bees, particularly butterflies, pollinators, Cleome is definitely one. Clearly your sunflowers. Cosmos, the Bright Lights Cosmos, the bright orange ones. And last but not least, let me show you right here. That's more sunflowers. Hang on. I have zinnia. I don't have it out here because I'm going to put it in my other garden, but zinnia is another one. So I have a ton of seed saved sunflowers, Cleome, and your Bright Lights Cosmos, but don't forget the zinnia. Okay, I'm going to try my best to get this done in less than a few hours. I'll film off and on as I go. I'll give you an update. I'm going to time myself. We have rain moving back in tomorrow, so I am determined to get this finished at a minimum, and then we will make our way down to the other gardens, hopefully in the next couple of days. Don't stress if you're a little bit late. It's all going to work out, and certainly don't worry about your hair either. I know this is a little hillbilly, but I do like to mark some of my spots with rocks. We're kind of used to that. Most of our ancestors are just marked with rocks around here. So what I do is I'm trying to just mark the general areas, and then I'm going to go back and put some of those little flags. Have you seen them? What are they called? Y'all know the builder contractor flags. You can get like a dozen of them for like $5 at, well, you used to, Home Depot or wherever, and they're bright orange. Having several packs of those is very handy dandy because it helps you remember where things are until they are fully developed and you can distinguish what is what. So mark your spots. Okay, I hope you can see this. Fingers crossed on that. So I've made my way up to the top edge of the garden, okay? And the ground is a little bit harder. I mean, we're in Southeast Tennessee, so you know we have issues with clay, right? We have to really keep it, a lot of compost and whatnot on the soil to help kind of soften it up a little bit, okay? But the top of my garden here has always been kind of a harder ground. So what I decided to do is what I was talking about earlier, is I have built mounds. Can you see that? It's hard to see. It's not a huge mound, but what I'm doing is I took advantage of this area with it being harder. I would have been able to pull up the dirt and make 5 mounds. This is where I'm going to plant watermelon. Watermelon in a lot of places here in East Tennessee, even the seedless stuff, is going anywhere from like $8 to $10 a watermelon already. So I decided to grow some watermelon this year, and let's hope that it does well. Here's the bottom line. When you plant things like that, whether it's a pumpkin, watermelon, anything for that matter, in terms of seed saving, you really only need 1 or 2 to come to harvest and fruition for you in order to hopefully enjoy some of it on a day, but to seed save from. So plant as much as you can. I may have to thin it. I'm going to probably put about 4 seeds per mound. We'll see which ones come up. But I like to plant 3 to 5, you know, at least, in hopes that at least 2 do well. And I just eyeball it as we go, okay? That's going to be with pumpkin. That's going to be with a lot of different things. You want to plant a few extra seeds so that you can thin it out, so that you hopefully get what you need to come up. Okay, water break and shade break real quick. We've got the watermelon in, we've got the cosmos in, we've got some sunflowers in. This is the best corn I've ever grown, okay? This is Hickory King. I also have Hickory Cane. This is what I grew last year. It is sweet enough to eat. It was very great to grow. It was beautiful. Made it through the entire season. It dried beautifully, and this is what I make my cornbread with now. So you can eat it, you can grind it, and you can feed it back to your critters. This is, again, the Hickory King, and it did so well. Fingers crossed. Throwing it up in a prayer. We're going to go for it again. All right. So I did take a break, taking 2 water breaks, and I went in and cooled off for a little bit, charged my phone, my camera. Hey, Noli. And got the corn in, got the watermelons in. I've got everything measured out. It's everything's side-goggling. Just crazy. But now I'm gonna plant my beans, some more sunflowers, and I'm debating some cucumbers. I'm debating it. So when I start planting at the end of a row, yes, I do every bit of this by hand. I don't necessarily measure. I just do my thing. I've just gotten so used to it. I like to, when I start an end, I like to put at least 3 seeds. So you're guaranteed, hopefully, at least 1, so you know where your row starts, right? All right, I hope you can hear me. We got a lot of mowing going on and animal shenanigans going on. So I got everything in, with the exception of this one little area down here. I'm gonna put in more mounds. So I'm gonna do that this evening when it cools down. This took me about 3 hours, but I had to decide what I was going to do. I had to hoe everything by hand, put the seeds in and cover them up, and then I'm marking my spots. So I'm gonna get those little flags like I told you. I have some in the garage, but I think I need some more. And then I'm going to, down here, I'm probably gonna put some squash. So today I've done sunflowers, cosmos, watermelon, lots of beans, and corn. I'm not gonna do okra this year because I'm the only one that really eats it. So I've decided to wait on okra for now. So hope you like this video. Guys, just keep plugging away, okay? Don't stop. Do what you can. Plant what you can where you can. Plant what you like. That is the most important thing in this process right now, is planting what you like and you know that you will eat or your family will eat, and that you can easily preserve, put away, and seed save from. That's the goal. So I'll let you know what I do down here. I'm probably gonna do some squash. Thought about doing some cucumbers. Same cucumbers that I always plant, but I may do some up here. It just depends. And Fritz is hiding in the bushes, so we will conclude. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video.